Hey everyone, today we are sitting down with Lisa, one of our amazing members here at the 1% BNB. We wanted to bring her on today because her story is proof that, you don't have to be an expert here to get started. You just kind of have to have the right community, the right support to be successful. So Lisa, if you're good with it, we'll hop right in. Tell everybody kind of where you were before you found us here at the 1%. What were you doing and kind of what had you interested in pursuing short-term rentals?
Hi, Katie. Yes, so I'm in the post-construction and commercial cleaning industry. So my line of work really does fluctuate with the interest rates. And at that time, my work was down by about 40%. And so, like, you guys came along right at the time I started seeing your ads popping up on Instagram, and it piqued my interest. And yeah, so
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's we hear that a lot, where people are like, the industries I'm in kind of fluctuates, can be a little inconsistent. Definitely want to protect yourself against that. But also with your work being down, I'm sure that was kind of a scary time to invest.
absolutely. And that's why your advertisements like caught my interest, is because I was like, I really need to diversify my income more, not just have all my eggs in one basket. I also had the kids' college condo up in Boulder that I had rented out over the summer months, and I had seen how well that had done. And so I was like, hey, this is something that I enjoy doing. And I never heard of leasing out somebody else's property and turning that into income. So I definitely was interested in that. And I definitely did sign up. And I'm like, hey, reach out to me. I want a meeting for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's one of those things, it's like not that many people know about it and they're always kind of like, I don't know, is this real? Things like that. So did you have kind of any hesitations that came up for you before jumping into this?
Yes and no. I would say it was like kind of a roller coaster ride along the way.
Yeah.
Like after I had the meeting with your team, signed up that day. I was like, this is definitely something I want to do. I was just like all in.
Mhm.
But then, of course, like you kind of start second guessing yourself while you're waiting for your
Mhm.
property to show. So, yeah, I did have my fears because, you are signing on a debt. And you're like, not only do I have to cover my monthly lease, I also want to turn a profit. But I think because I already did have an Airbnb for a couple months out of the year, I kept going back to that. I was like, look, if I can do this on my own, turn a property or a profit in a couple months, like if I have a team supporting me, that really helped
Mhm.
keep talking me off the ledge, so to
Yeah.
speak. So I would say my biggest fear was signing on that lease, but I've seen how it worked even before I signed it on. So I was like, how much different can it be from having a lease versus having your own property? So it was comforting having all of y'all.
That's, I'm glad to hear that for sure. That's awesome. Was there anything in particular that made you say like, hey, these people, the 1%, they're the ones that I want to go with, versus going with a different company or doing it on yourself or doing it yourself since you had done it, somewhat successfully already?
I 100% knew I did not want to do it myself because for me, with the kids' college condo, is like whatever money I can put back into my pocket is a plus. That's money I didn't have. But if I'm going to do this as a business, like I have to know what I'm actually doing. What do I look for? How do I read air DNA? How do I actually set my prices? When is my booking supposed to come in? All that stuff I've like learned along the way. Um, for me, I 100% didn't want to do it without a team. I was like, that would terrify me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things where like all the information is out there and really anyone could do it, anyone could teach themselves, but how many mistakes along the way are you going to make? How do you make heads or tails of, what's good advice, what's bad advice, that kind of thing.
And even if you're doing the right thing, just to have Emily and Becky and the team
Yeah.
being like, yes, that's right. It's kind of like, okay, I don't have to second guess myself. I thought I was doing the right thing, don't know, but they like give you confirmation. I think the first 3 months of going live, and they kept sending me links. This is what to expect during the first 3 months of your property. Super, super helpful. Just like hold your hand. Am I on track? And they're like, yes, you're going to miss some of those far out bookings since you just went live. You're still going to get your 30 and 60 days for these next 1, 2 months. And you're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that before. So it's all these little things that somebody with experience has that can really just give you the confidence to keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. All those little things tend to add up. So, all right, awesome. Well, walk us through your first property here. Kind of how was the search process? What made you say yes to that particular property? How was that for you?
So the search process was really easy. That's also why I like the team for it, is because I had never done an arbitrage before. And the thought of trying to make a lease legal, protect myself and the landlord, was something I definitely wanted a team for. So initially, they found me a property, which I'm glad it didn't work out. The homeowners ended up not wanting to have that as a short term rental, just
Mhm,
go with a long term lease. And so I went with my second property, and it's a perfect property for a short term rental.
mhm.
4 bedroom, 3 bath, located in Arvada, Colorado. It's got 2 living spaces, a game room, outdoor space. My landlords also, like, they're perfect for it. Like they have short-term rentals as well, and they would have loved to have this property as a short-term rental. They just weren't set up for it at the time. So they've been like super gracious to work with, and they know the process. Nothing really freaks them out. So for my first time property, like, all around, it just went so smooth getting the property.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love to hear that. It's one of those things where it's kind of a blessing in disguise that maybe the first one didn't work out.
Right.
Which, can happen. Obviously, in this business, when we're approaching landlords, we get a lot more no's than we do yeses.
Right. And it can happen
But
for so many different
right.
reasons. And just know that the perfect property does eventually come along.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Did you end up going with our design team or did you design the property yourself?
I really hem hot on that because your design team actually really knocks it out of the park. And I love design myself. And so even with the design call, and seeing what it actually takes to grab somebody's eye when they're searching for a property, I was like, okay, I think I can get it 80% of the way there, but that last 20% really made me nervous. In the long run, I ended up taking on the challenge myself just to see if I could do it. And yes, it did terrify me along the way. There was nights I like laid awake sweating hot sweats, but in the end, I think I pulled it off. My pictures turned out great. Um, I still would like to use the design team for one,
Mhm.
because I would like to learn from them as well. And I think they have a real knack for creating an experience.
Right.
Like, it really looks like a vacation property, like all
Mhm.
those little things. And to me, I'm like, I kind of want one of each and just kind of like see how it goes.
Yeah,
And
for
and
sure.
I've heard nothing but goodness about the design team. They finish on time, they finish within budget, and I actually think they could have saved me a little bit of money, them doing it, because you know how it is. When that's what you do for
Yeah.
life, you know where to go, you know all the ins and outs. And I went more the route of getting Amazon Wayfair furniture, so I think more costs in the setup.
Mhm.
So I think that's something, actually, the design team probably could have saved me time and money. But in the end, we're here.
Yeah.
We're
Exactly. I was going to say the result is all that matters, right?
right.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And I love that we give clients the flexibility because some people do kind of have that eye for design. It's something that they like to do, they like the challenge. Or if you prefer to just have it done for you, hands off, that's not your thing, we got you covered there too.
Well, and I love doing it, but when you're running a business at the same time, that's something that you do have to take into consideration. I couldn't just hang out up there until it was done. I was back and forth in between my
Mm,
work and theirs. And so when it does take longer, then you're not going live for those however many weeks
right.
longer. That in and of itself could have brought in money towards the design. So you just kind of have to weigh out like what's best
Yeah.
for everyone's situation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, for sure. So for you, since like being up and running, implementing everything you've learned, have there been any like big major wins for you, or what do you feel like are like the biggest results that you've seen from that?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. Summertime in Colorado is always amazing months. Like
Hmm.
I went live the third week of March, which had been March 2025. And so my July month was well over $16,000 and I had already been up just a couple months. So that was terrific to see like, okay, yes, not only did the kids college counter do great, this can do great too. And you're always learning along the way. I think my next step, if I did invest in anything, would probably be somebody just to do my pricing
Hmm.
because when I can check it over, I'm consistent. When my work all of a sudden gets busy, that kind of gets set on the back burner. And again, if you don't catch it, some things, you can miss out on some good bookings. But I'm already getting fantastic bookings for this summer, week-long bookings, and my payouts are well over $4,000. And I have my Thanksgiving booked out. So I feel like this is going to be a really good year.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, Colorado is such a fantastic area. Um, So I guess for you in running this business now, you've been up and running nearly a year. So has it changed your day-to-day life in any way? Kind of what are you doing now? What's changed from when you started?
Well, I haven't, I right now, as far as for the financial thing, I'm just stacking cash because I don't want to get myself in a pinch. I don't need to pull a paycheck yet. So I'm letting everything sit there. I want to pay off my design as quick as possible. I use my 0% interest credit card. So basically free money.
Right?
So I'm letting all that sit until my interest rates are due so I can pay that off. But what
Mhm.
has been fun is when you're an Airbnb host, you can also sign up for a host share and
Mhm.
you can use other people's properties and only pay the cleaning fee. So I've been able to have ladies' weekends and say, hey, lodging's on me, so we get a big chalet in the mountains and I have my ladies fly in from all over and we just have a great time. So
All
it's
right.
been the travel part has been really fun.
Really great.
And I utilize my Airbnb. I have friends up there too. So when I don't have a booking, I'm like, it is tacos and hot tub night. Come on over.
What? I know. I was just gonna say, I feel like I need to plan a trip to Colorado now.
Yeah, I hosted my son's graduation party there. I was able to put my family up. So it's been fun.
Right. That's amazing. And I love that because it's not even like obviously, the business is doing really well. You're making money, but there's so many like wins and things for you that aren't necessarily tied to the money
Right.
itself. Yeah.
And it's all a matter of what you want to do with it, you know.
Right.
It's close enough to my hometown that we can utilize it as a vacation property ourselves too. It's not just an investment.
Right. Exactly. That's nice. So, I love that. Well, in terms of kind of the support and resources that you've gotten from us here at the 1%, what do you feel like has been the most valuable to you? What have you utilized the most?
Oh gosh, the coaching calls.
Yeah.
The coaching calls, I go back and I haven't even listened to all the recording coaching calls. And there'll be one that I'm like, I don't think I really need to listen to this, but it's the next one in order. I'm going to go ahead and listen to it. I can tell you there's not a single coaching call that I haven't walked away with something.
Mm.
And so now, even if I'm working, I try to just jump on there, put myself on mute and be like, hey, I'll be here just listening in. And it is fantastic because also like sometimes they'll go over some topics, but then they'll have Q&A. So especially when you're first starting out. You dump your Airbnb link on there. It's like, hey, look at my pricing. Can you go over this? Teach me about this. And they're walking you through how to set up comps. So, literally, any question you have or fear you have, you can bring it to the table. Everybody shares their information, but they are literally coaching you through it twice a week. That to me is where the success is at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where it's like you can Google, you can chat GPT all you want, but there's nothing like getting that real-time info specific to you and your listing, not just very
And
generic.
they will take your property and hands on and work on it sometimes for the whole hour coaching call. That is just valuable right there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So for you, if, someone's thinking about joining, they're kind of on the fence, what would you say to them? What kind of message would you have for them to potentially help them, get over their fear or figure out if this is the right move for them?
Well, absolutely. I would say ask yourself, do you want to manage it yourself? Because there's people out there that can help manage it for you. And you can also, really step back from it. For me, I wanted to be really hands-on. I wanted to learn this. I feel like you can go either route. Um, I would just say dive in. Once you sign up, even if you don't have your property, just start going through those coaching calls, those recorded calls. Um, because there's so much information that you can learn before you actually have your property.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no reason to wait until things are up and running to start learning. You want to be as prepared as possible for sure.
And I feel like you guys offer everything for in between those that want to kind of do it themselves to those that just want a little bit of passive income. It's like, hey, we can design it if you don't want to design it. We can manage the pricing if you don't want to manage the pricing. We'll find you your property. So I think you can go as little or as much of investing your time into it that you really want to.
Yeah, for sure. And that's always been our goal is to just have people get a successful short-term rental business up and running, whatever that looks like for them. That's why we kind of
Exactly.
have that consultation because it could look completely different from one person to the next.
And I mean, my sister wants to set one up now. I have friends that have already had Airbnbs, but they're like, hey, what do I do about this guest that mentioned this? What do I do about this pricing? And because of the knowledge that I've gained, I have been able to help others as well. But everyone is like so excited. I send them your way as many as I can.
We appreciate that. Yes, we appreciate that. So if you could pinpoint, I know this is a really hard question, but if you could pinpoint one thing that you wish that you'd known either before or like right when you were starting out, do you know what that would be? Just as a word of advice
For
for
me, it
people
would be in the design aspect. It
yeah.
would be for me out here, we have American Furniture Warehouse, say for
Mhm.
example, for a furniture store. Go there. I mean, of course, you have your mood board. You kind of know what you want to design it if you're not using the design team. But I would definitely get as much assembled furniture as possible.
Mhm.
But I mean, there is a lot. Again, it depends how much you want to dabble into it yourself or not. I added a hot tub to my property, even
Mhm.
though I'm leasing it. I'm like, Colorado is huge for having hot tubs, and I want to start right out of the gate, getting as many potential bookings as possible. I even went as far as asking the landlord if I could cover the cost of changing out the hot water heater, my
Mhm.
expense, because we're up there getting ready, setting it up. And I'm like, this 50-gallon hot water heater isn't going to cut it for 14 people. So I'm like, I will put that expense out. So I get my great 5-star reviews from the get go. So there's a lot of things that I did up front to really make sure my reviews were going to be great. I made a super clean property, painted more stuff than most people probably would, but that's just me. I'm like, this place has got to be crisp. So I would say really pay attention to those details.
Mhm.
Um, what is the guest going to come in? What's their experience going to be like?
Mhm.
That matters right out of the gate.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's so important. And it sounds like you did it so strategically as well. It's one of those things where people think you have to have every amenity under the sun, and you don't. You just have to be strategic about picking the ones that actually are really going to matter and paying attention
Right.
to the ones that matter in your market.
Right.
You know,
And I mean, I got my pictures taken in March. We still haven't gotten enough snow up there for me to redo my pictures. I need my snow pictures for the
yeah,
winter, but it's snowed maybe once or twice, and guests have been up there, so I'm still waiting on, go live.
yeah,
Get
right.
have it great. Go live, and you can always tweak it a little bit after that. You can add an amenity, you can get another picture taken, you can redo your seasonal pictures, and you're going to learn along the way too. Um, but yeah, y'all are awesome just for getting it off the ground. It's been a success. I think, okay, so went live the third week of March. I don't think I broke even in April, but from then on, not only have I broke even, but made a profit every single month.
That's amazing.
And we're in the slow season right now too, and still turning a profit.
That's amazing. And honestly, I was going to say that is all you. Like that is a complete testament to you and, all the effort that you have put in, with the design, attending the coaching calls diligently, taking our advice, implementing it. Like that's all you.
Well, and you guys make it so easy too. If somebody wants to do it themselves, you guys have all the information there. If you put in the time, you can be successful for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things like you were saying before, a lot of people try to wait until everything is perfect, but imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. So,
Exactly. And you'll learn along the way. I mean, with customer service, you're always going to learn from something.
right. Yes. Yeah. Continual learning process for sure.
Yep. You just got to get the momentum going. That's the
Yeah,
first step.
for sure. So, okay, well, I have one more question for you here before we wrap up. So for you, what's next? What do you see for your short-term business rental over the next year or so?
Well, I definitely would like another one
Yeah.
or two. Um, yeah. And then I even have bigger plans beyond that.
Ooh.
But this has been such a great another little vehicle
Hmm.
of income along with my current career. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep going down this path because that's the other thing too, is once you learn a market, once you learn the do how, you can literally take it to any market. You can expand. If you've learned one property, why don't you have 10?
Right.
It's kind of
Yeah.
my mindset because you've already learned it. The second one is not as hard as the first.
No, that is for sure. And yeah, and you nailed it. Like you could take it to any market. That's one of my favorite things about arbitrage is like you can go anywhere. Like it's so much less of a commitment than actually purchasing a house. So you can go wherever, you can test as many markets as you want. It opens up a lot of possibilities for you.
Right. And a lot of markets, well, depending on the market, but I know Arvada, I can have two or three right now, if unless if the laws change. But once you learn that market, gosh, just keep them coming.
Right.
Do different designs. Right now, this one's hosts a lot of people. I get a lot of multi-family and bachelor parties or groups. So it's like, why not do another one that's a little bit different? See what kind of
Right.
crowd that one attracts.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The possibilities are endless, really. There's
Right.
so much.
It is fun. I really enjoy hospitality. I enjoy customer service. So for me, it's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear that. Well, thank you very much, Lisa. We really appreciate your time here today, and we look forward to checking in with you here in a few months or next year and see what you're doing with your next properties.
Yeah, absolutely.